Have you ever heard the song before?
I have not.
If you listen, it's kind of upbeat. I'm not gonna lie. I'll be a gentleman behind the line. Oh, the boathouse is right. I'll share my dark secret. Not gonna lie. So help me, Jesus. This verse starts getting dark as fuck. That's beautiful. With dark hair and soft skin. Forever. Forever. Make up your mind. Make up your mind. Tell to me. Give it up to me.
You know, it kind of reminds me of like the r/nice guys.
Oh, I'm gonna have to check out that Reddit.
I'm on both r/nice guys and r/nice girls. It is
Crazy.
wow. It's a huge yikes. It's just a
Yeah.
yikes.
Well, you gotta hear. Give it up to me. Do you want to be my angel? So help me, Jesus. Here comes the part that everybody sings without thinking about it. Yeah, the song's almost done.
You can hear this part.
It's actually my wife. Yeah, so let's do the Be My Angel again. The part that everybody sings is coming up very soon. Come on. I don't know what song's gonna end first. Ah, here comes Jamie. There it is. Do you wanna die? Do you wanna die? Do you wanna die?
Be right back real quick.
Wanna die? Jamie, you know the song?
No. It sounds familiar. Wait, yes I do.
We don't have Betsy with us tonight. She's having a serious autoimmune flare-up.
I can go in another room.
Jesus.
Okay, let's hurry. Is it me, Jesus?
You know what that song's about, right?
No.
Necrophilia.
Oh no.
Yeah. Do you want to die? Be my angel. I promise you, you'll stay young and beautiful forever. We already have Kat in on the chat. All right, here we go. Didn't realize I was live.
The following broadcast is intended for mature audiences. These are real people sharing very real, deeply personal experiences. This content may be considered triggering for others and for those who are sharing. The chat room is a privilege intended for discussions and sharing. You are not being asked to agree, but you are being asked to stay civil and refrain from personal attacks. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome back to Am I Mental? We had a hot mic moment because I'm stupid. I'm your host, E. Unfortunately, tonight we do not have Bexy. She's having an autoimmune flare-up right now, and she can barely keep her eyes open. And of all things, it's the weather that got her. But we do have C with us tonight.
Hello.
And tonight we actually do have a really good episode coming up, I think. We all know that every episode's good. Let's just be honest. Every episode is good. But this one's, I think, is going to be particularly good. I don't really know how to even categorize what the story's going to be like because it's so, unique and it kind of intertwines. It's cool. But before we get started, we got to pay some bills around this place. Especially considering we are coming up on having recurring annual bills like the website and our hosting. So, if you want to help us out, share episodes, especially ones that you think that resonate with you or you think would resonate with someone else. You might help save a life. We have been credited with that already. On top of that, make sure to like us, follow us, smash that like button or whatever you happen to have, depending on what app you're using. On top of that, if you want to help us out further, you can always go to amimental.net/donate. There's a number of ways that you can donate. And also if you want some swag, like t-shirts, stickers, masks, tote bags, we also have a Teespring store. So without further ado, tonight's guest, Jamie, who's got some background noise.
Yeah, we just lost some video games.
Oh.
Kind of ironic because there's two of them. One fell.
So why don't you, introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about what we're going to talk about.
So I'm Jamie, I'm 24, I'm a graduate student, applying for grad school, undergraduate student, going into grad school. I live in California, obviously we're in California.
Well, there's no obvious about it. I mean, Bexy, what she's from Texas.
Oh, okay, true.
And we've had guests all the way from Canada.
I'm from California.
No, what's scary is how close we are, because you literally went to the school right down the street from me.
Yeah, no, it's really weird. I'm surprised I never passed by your house with my side.
You may have, but I mean, if you're 22, you would have graduated before I bought the house. We've only been here for about 3 years.
I'm so surprised you met my mom before you met me.
Right? Well, yeah, walking my dog. She had the same dog, that same name as my dog, so yeah.
It's just crazy. And
oh, we got a comment already from Richard. Congrats, graduating myself.
Congrats, yeah. I'm a psych major, minor in cognitive science, and I'm working on my mental health, so...
With the funny part being that you decided to start working on your mental health after you got a degree.
Yeah, and it's just been a long time here, so it's definitely something I should have been addressing years ago, but there's always a time to start, so I'm getting my start here.
Yeah.
And
there's no such thing as starting too late. Well, I mean, if you're dead, it's too late.
Yeah, maybe then. I'm not yet. I'm not jinxing that, I hope. I got interested in psychology in 8th grade. My English teacher had us do a career fair, And it was really hard for me to decide what I was interested in. And I kind of just figured, like, I want to help people that struggle with their thoughts. And I also want to help myself. So it's kind of where it started. And I've just kind of stuck with it through high school and even college, obviously. I'm just kind of stuck between whether I want to go into research and, help a principal investigator design their study and help them run their study, or even run my own study, or whether I want to go more into clinical and, work with patients and that aspect of it. But my group of interest is children. So if I did end up going into the clinical side, I want to help kids, because growing up, I should have been in therapy longer than I was, and I just kind of want to help kids through these things.
So when you say that you should have been in therapy longer than you were, what do you mean exactly? Like,
negative connotation there too. I just noticed I could have done therapy, but I didn't get to, so I am now. So
right.
Notes here.
So, do you have a diagnosis or leaning towards a diagnosis?
So, in terms of what my therapist has said, I'm pretty much moderate depression and anxiety. So, that's my technical diagnosis. But I have looked a lot into borderline personality disorder, and I feel like a lot of my personal qualities and even thought patterns align more with the diagnosis. So I know it's not good to self-diagnose yourself.
Right. But it's always something you can bring up to your own doctor and say, hey, what do you think about this?
Yeah, and even then, they also had me take a bipolar questionnaire just to see if I fit in that category, and they didn't add it to my diagnosis, so I'm not sure how I scored on it. But
it's like when we talked before you agreed to even come on the show, it's like I'm probably bipolar 2, which means that I'm more depressed than I am manic, and I don't have borderline personality disorder, which is actually very common with bipolar 2. And one of my friends also is bipolar 2, but he didn't have enough, so they said that he's bipolar 2 with borderline personality traits.
Yeah, even then, I'm wondering if I should ask him to reevaluate my diagnosis, at least on the basis of what I've found so far. I did bring up some of the qualities I felt like I aligned with to my psychiatrist, but he hasn't changed my diagnosis, so I'm more so just going off what he says. And I'm currently on a mood stabilizer that appears to be helping. I actually was just on the phone with him talking about how I've been doing. We meet every 2 weeks, so he upped my dose, and I'm hoping maybe it elevates my mood a little bit. I've just been kind of neutral lately, which is better than depressed, but definitely just want to see some more positive changes at least.
Well, I hope the best for you. So I'll kind of keep track of you in chat and see how you're doing. So yeah, no, I guess it's not too big of a secret.
Is the audio okay?
Oh, yeah, it's great.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we worked together. We actually started and trained at the same time. We're part of the same cohort, which is pretty awesome.
Very.
Yeah, and our group is actually it's a tight group. We got a good group.
Very solid.
It is.
Tight knit.
Yeah, and we were already starting to have our own inside jokes that nobody else is privy to, which is kind of awesome.
Oh, we're not very good to talk about on the podcast.
Well, not going to go too far. That's about all I was going to say.
Yeah, I can stay there.
Yeah. So, C, is there anything going on in the chat? You have anything you want to say so far?
Well, first off, I've really related to what you said about it being neutral. That's how it's been going for me too. But I just wanted to say that because I totally understand that feeling.
In terms of medication or just how you've been doing in general?
Both, honestly. It's a mixed bag.
Yeah. I didn't start taking medication until about 2 months ago, so I've definitely noticed changes. I'm just kind of between whether they're the changes I want. I know, at least with what I'm going through with the medication I'm on and the therapy I'm receiving, they kind of go hand in hand, so it's hard to say whether it's just the medicine, but I have noticed
Right.
my moods. I don't wake up, depressed or having thoughts of like, wow, it's not going to be a great day, or wow, you suck. Like, it's
Right.
and
Right.
I give myself a little bit of a break to wake up. So it can vary, obviously.
Yeah, I've never really been like neutral, but I've had where I call it emotional flatlining, where I feel nothing. And it's better. I don't know that it's even better than feeling suicidal at times, because I feel nothing. And it drove me to do some really stupid shit in order to try to feel.
I'm mostly just trying to stay positive with it. I see that aspect, but also it's just kind of giving me a break in a way, because I've kind of just lived this way of life, like 9, 10 plus years, just accepting that I'm going to wake up depressed and I'm going to spend most of my day depressed unless I'm distracted, unless I'm busy. So it's like,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
for me right now, it's like I have more chances to be happy if I'm neutral. And at least being in a neutral state, I'm not anxious, I'm not worried, I'm not sad, because a lot of those feelings just kind of go hand in hand. Like, I've at least noticed my anxieties, it's kind of diminished unless something triggering happens, but I used to be anxious like every day. It was just mixed in with the depression. If I wasn't sad, I was anxious. If I wasn't anxious, then I was sad. Like, it was just,
Yeah, that's relatable. And
Oh, yeah.
she's just sitting there nodding.
Just like, oh, yeah. I totally understand.
It's really weird because a lot of times growing up, my mom she'd kind of ignore it, and even then she'd make comments like, "You'll grow out of this, like you're just a teenager," and it's like, okay, well now I'm an adult, and why am I still sad? You didn't tell me I'd still be sad.
Mom, you lied to me. Yeah, of course. There's those people. Oh,
It's
just
so hard for me right now. So
there's those people like, oh, just snap out of it. Why don't you just be happy? Oh, thank you. That's exactly what I needed to hear. Why didn't anybody else think of that?
so many times my mom even would say like, my emo phase is just a phase. I'm like, no, I still love the music. Like, I just don't listen to it as much. But if I listen to it again, I'm right back there. And I'm like, man, this is a song that gets me in my sad feelings, and I'm gonna play it like 3 times.
Yeah. If I ever listen to the album The Downward Spiral by 9 Inch Nails more than once, that's usually a really bad sign.
How so?
Just when I first discovered that album, I was in a really bad place emotionally, and it just puts me there. Anytime I hear it, like, I can listen to it once, like in the summertime, and I'm fine. But if I listen to it a second time, that should be a red flag for everybody. That if they hear it, if they notice.
It's really interesting, though, because I don't know, I'm kind of the same way, where like a lot of albums, I guess more uplifting albums, I don't really play them on repeat in that way. I might listen to it all the way through, or I might pick songs. But a lot of times when I'm in one of those sad moods, I'll just be like, all right, back to the first song. Here we go.
Yep.
We're reliving this sadness right now. And it's not a very good thing to do, but I still find myself doing it sometimes just because
I do it too.
letting it all out.
with just random songs.
Just get locked in on a song here or a song there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have albums I go to. So one of my favorite bands is Dance Gavin Dance. They're based out of Sacramento. And I've just been listening to them since middle school. And then another band I really like is Bring Me the Horizon. So I just kind of fall back on them, but I definitely don't listen to albums as much as I used to. Or even in college, I listened to a lot of those albums frequently.
Yeah.
So helpful.
Never went to college. Well, I mean, I took some classes at a community college, but no degrees for me. And we are getting a lot of comments in there.
It's under your belt, though.
Want to hit it? See?
I read one and I love it. Yeah, it's like, why am I an adult and still sad? Would be a great quote for a shirt, Richard. Thank you for that. I love it. I'm not an adult, but I love it.
Yep, I am going to have to make that shirt now.
It's perfect.
Nice. Thanks.
Yeah, and what's funny is that Richard also mentioned earlier that said, "Oh my God, my Tia just finished her graduate degree for psych, and she wants to help kids." So, like, what you're going for really struck a chord with Richard there.
It's a weird overlap.
Yeah.
I think.
And then we poked fun about, "Hey, I detected Spanish." He's like, drops my maracas and sombrero. Oh no, I've been caught!
Yeah.
Our chat is amazing. And also, M came in and said, listen to Slaves with a bunch of heart face emojis.
I love Slaves.
And then Kat, the song Bodies by Drowning Pool. You know, let the bodies hit the floor.
Johnny Craig, correct me if I'm wrong, but I love Johnny Craig as an artist. Even though he's not the best person, I guess everyone has their pros and cons.
Wow. Okay, Richard, you should be in charge of like the t-shirt design department. Listening to old songs is like using a dirty microwave. It's going to stain whatever you're eating with the flavor of the past.
That's very true and fitting. I've never thought about it that way.
It's funny but true.
Yeah, very. Wow, I got a kick out of that.
And then M just answered, yes, he is a hot mess.
Hot mess. Definitely. It's a very good way to describe him.
And actually what's funny is that when we were talking, we talked about how, like, I mentioned that at the time, like, industrial was, like, the king. I loved it. That's my music right there. Industrial rock and stuff like that. Like Nine Inch Nails. You know, Rob Zombie, even White Zombie originally, Marilyn Manson, stuff like that. We were talking about Stabbing Westward. And it was like, back in the day, it's like, this is badass music. Then, like, 10 years later, I listened to it, I was like, wait a minute. And I know you like emo. I don't really like emo. I was like, what the hell? This is emo! It was like the first emo band ever. But still, I still have a special place in my heart for it. I love Stabbing Westward. But I mean, you have a song that's called like "Everything I Touch I Break." If that should have screamed out that, yeah. Oh hey, Bexy's in the chat.
Oh, hi, Bexy. Glad you could make it.
Hey, hello, Bexy.
So, like, anyway, let's talk a little bit, if you want to, about like the struggles that you had, you know, before you actually went to get help. Like, what led you to get help?
Honestly, it was kind of a mixed bag. I've had a way of like accepting my life the way it was, as it was, instead of thinking like, I have a voice, I can change this, I don't have to live this way. I very much was reliant on the people around me to kind of decide where my life went. And I, in a way, played a motherly role with kind of everyone, because I feel like in ways it made me have a way to feel good about myself without having to do things for myself. And I'm learning now that it's okay to do things for me as well. And that's the only way I can achieve maximum happiness is if I'm giving it to me. Because, not everyone's in their world thinking, man, I wonder how Jamie's doing today. Or I wonder if she's okay. I wonder if she wants to go do something. Like sometimes I need to be like, I want to do a task with myself. So in that respect, I was very catering to people. I just kind of would try to turn my feelings off without addressing them. And along the way, there have just been different things that I've kind of blocked out and didn't acknowledge as they were. So my parents divorced when I was about 4 years old, and my dad is a alcoholic, and he's been struggling with that since I was 4, so about 20 years now. And it pretty much started developing as my brother, he's 2 years older, so it pretty much started developing when I was born, but he was like in a party phase, so it kind of just transferred over into his home life when it should have been like, all right, I have kids now, time to take responsibilities here. And as a result, my mom was a single parent, so she worked a lot. I try to give her credit when it's due, but there are ways that my brother and I were both very neglected as kids because of, the amount of hours she worked and the amount of time she spent trying to find love in a partner and someone to replace my dad in our family as like a fatherly figure when she could have been more so being a motherly figure herself. And in ways, it's just, it's led me to have some issues with abandonment and codependence. And so I'm learning how to depend on myself rather than other people. And so that's kind of what brought me into therapy. I get into I guess the best way to talk is like a toxic headspace where I'm kind of just being all these different voices and negative people towards myself. I guess it makes me sound a little crazy. I don't have a voice per se, but they don't feel like me is the thing. Like I generally, the way I talk to myself, I would never talk to someone else that way. And so I'm trying to treat myself how I would treat others. And it's a process, but my boyfriend reminds me, it's not going to happen overnight. And it is possible. You just have to be patient. In my head, I'm very much all or none. I'm like, if I don't see it now, I'm never going to see it. And I need to start accepting that baby steps. You don't just go from the bottom stair to the top of the stairs. You have to climb. So I'm trying to take the climb.
I'm proud of you. I'm glad. Not that I know you very well, but seriously, I'm proud of you. That's huge.
Thanks.
And for you, that's definitely probably really good advice to, treat yourself as you would treat others. I probably should do that to myself too, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's easier said than done. But.
And guess what? A wild Bexy appeared.
Hello,
Bexy. I missed you guys.
Yeah.
Missed you too.
How you doing?
Aww.
All you get are the sad, happy faces that blend between frown and smile because we're sad that you're suffering, but we're happy to see you.
Exactly.
Yes.
I can barely see you guys. My eyes really don't want to open.
All from a storm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's just insane. Well, I guess that's why we're here.
Yeah.
Dun.
Meanwhile, here I'm just sweating balls. I swear, like it's so hot. I'm like just in my house and I'm sweating.
I have a little office that I'm in, and my AC's been doing a really good job.
Yeah,
And
my
I am
like me too much.
I am buried under blankets. I'm frozen
In
See,
Texas.
in Texas.
Anyway, see, you were saying?
I always wear my jackets. I never really take them off, but it's so hot that I've actually taken it off.
I noticed you were wearing a t-shirt today. Oh, it may be long sleeve. I can't tell.
It's like a t-shirt, yeah.
Yeah, meanwhile, I'm the t-shirt and shorts guy every day. 30 degrees out, short and t-shirt.
It's really funny because my friend's dad, we always would make fun of him because he's like, he wears his shorts and he wears his Birkenstocks. And now a lot of teenage girls are really getting into wearing Birkenstocks. And we're just like, wow, Rob, you started a trend. Like, I even have a pair of Birkenstocks now. And he wears them to the snow. He does not care. T-shirt, shorts, Birkenstocks, and snow, he'll go.
That sounds a lot like one of the top doctors / surgeons in my hometown. He would wear like the full doctor's, like the scrubs with Birkenstocks.
Wow.
Wow.
So, have you applied for grad school or have you been accepted anywhere?
No, that's also a whole process that's not only been delayed, but has just been really hard for me because I'm just at this constant battle with myself of like, working on yourself takes work and you should put that first. And also, I'm just very fixated on time and time management because in my head, I'll list out the different things I need to go through and complete in order to even apply to grad school, and it's just daunting. I look at it and I'm like, it's so easy to make the list, right? But to do everything, I have to put that into my schedule somewhere. And at least being in college, like after I got accepted, I went to UCLA and it kind of just gave me a new perspective. And I don't know necessarily if it's a good or a bad one, but in a way it's helped me in my process of working towards myself, but only because it brought me to such a low place. Being out of school now, I can see how damaged I was. Like, not only was I dealing with trauma that I didn't address, I was also dealing with stress in school. And I was very hard on myself because coming from high school as like a 4.44 GPA student to becoming a very average student within a reputable university just really damaged my self-esteem more. And it's just kind of made me fearful for grad school because I have to complete all these things to get there. And parts of me keep telling myself, like, you're not involved in things as much as you were in high school. And that's partly because as an adult, you have to spend time working for bills. And I didn't have to do that as much in high school. I had a part-time job and it was very much leisure spending or spending money on my car. That was the only real bill I had was my car. And so now I just see it as like, you don't have as much accomplishments that you're amounting to. So what makes you think they're going to want you? And you have to get higher scores if you're going to get there. And just really negative things that keep pushing me away from getting there. But each day my boyfriend reminds me, like, you're going to get there. You just need to do things one step at a time. In my head, I'm like, I need to do all these things at once, and now I don't want to do none of them. I don't want to do any of them because they're all here and they all matter, and I don't know which one to start on, and I don't know how much time to put in each one. So at least in that way, I'm applying for schools, but also with COVID, a lot of schooling's online right now. They're starting to open schools up, thankfully, but I'm very much an in-person learner. I don't know if learner's a word. I was trying to think about if it was, but
It works for me.
better in person. Yeah. I very much learned better seeing the teacher write on the board, taking handwritten notes, all those types of things, which there are a lot of studies that show that it's more helpful for you to remember handwriting. But other than that, I'm not really set on any particular school. I'm mostly just trying to get the prerequisites going and reach out to professors and researchers at my old school, because I did work in labs in college, but I'm not volunteering anymore, which I'm also trying to get back into to help my resume.
Yeah, I just remember when my wife was trying to get into nursing school, how competitive it was. I can imagine it's only worse for grad school.
Yeah, and the cohorts are very small, so I'm not sure how much you've looked into graduate study, but from what I've read, cohorts are between like 10 to 20 people for certain universities, and so you have to really talk with the professors at the school about the research they're a part of and get on someone's good side to vouch for you. And then you meet in front of a panel and they kind of decide if they want you to go there or not. Versus, undergraduate school is very much like, all right, I did this essay. All right, here are my grades. All right, I took the SAT. All right, tell me if I'm in. It wasn't as much personable experience, like getting to know the faculty in that way. So That's all part of what scares me.
Well, I mean, there's only one way to do it, though.
Exactly, and I have one degree. I'm not quitting. Like I remind myself every day this is something I want, and so to get where I want, I need to apply myself. It's not just gonna. Here's your PhD, Jamie. Here you go. Go start your practice.
No, it really isn't that easy. I mean, like, I have two cousins, one by blood, one by marriage. They both hold PhDs in psychology. One of them, they just started their career. They are working inside the prison systems helping people. Yeah, so it's not easy.
And especially because this day and age, with a bachelor's in psychology, you essentially can't do anything. They very much are strict in that regard, like master's or PhD, no exceptions, and you need field work, which I personally don't have any under my belt. So volunteering is the most I really have, and participating in studies with labs and also like being participants in studies. That's kind of as far as my experience goes. So there's a lot more for me to learn, and I have to apply myself and, put myself out there for these things to happen. And
yeah, so see.
These things, it's just a matter of doing.
The comment section came alive. We need to share. You want to take them, C?
Richard said in college they want you to be involved in... Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Cutting out a little bit on my end.
I'm cutting out on your guys' end whenever I go out.
Okay, I'll cover it here. So it came back. DeVern said exactly. Need to do it all at once. They all matter. I don't know which to start or how much time. Girl, you hit me there. That's me every day. So yeah, you're singing other people's songs here. And then Richard came in. In college, they want you to be involved in every little thing. I found it daunting, so I never got involved. So I don't feel bad. So don't feel bad. It's completely normal to go to college to do work and to work and to work. And then DeVern again, not my college. They haven't made me do anything, and good for them. I wasn't going to, LOL. But then she's describing herself, but she is describing me, again by DeVern.
And confirm that.
Resonate with you guys.
What was that, Bexy?
Yeah, what, Bexy?
I said I can confirm that. I'm always talking to DeVern and telling him to get his ass in gear and do his assignment.
Dealing with DeVern when it comes to homework is like dealing with a 6th grader. But I don't want to. God, I hate my tea. It's so terrible.
I'm just thinking.
What did you do to it?
I'll be right
The
back.
sun tea is just bad. It's just really, really bad. Like, I wouldn't even water crops with it. I wouldn't even give it to an enemy. It's bad. You know how you're saying in the South it's an insult to ask who made the tea? I would not be insulted by it. I'd be like, I'm sorry I even served this crap to you. I think I'm going to...
Probably let it sit in the sun too long and the tea spoiled. And people don't think tea can spoil, but it can. Tea can go bad.
So can beer. People don't realize that. If you pour a beer and it has a thick head and it's really dark in color and skunky, yeah, that's a rotten beer. That is literally a rotten beer.
What about rock beer?
If you ever get like a beer and you pour it and it has like a thick head that doesn't want to go away, it's a dark gold color like piss, and it's skunky, it's a beer that went bad. It's a rotten beer.
Yeah, I don't want that.
Yeah, so like... I actually learned this, of all places, beer school at SeaWorld. What a lot of people don't seem to realize is that SeaWorld is owned by Anheuser-Busch. And they, of course, Budweiser and a bunch of other beers. They have a brewery on site, and they have beer schools free. If you get in, you get it for free. At least if you have a pass. And we went, and they're like, okay, they got 2 bottles of Budweiser. They poured them in front of us. One had that really thick head, dark color, skunky. The other one was light in color. It had almost no head to it, and it didn't really have much of a scent to it initially. The one that was skunky was like, yep, that's a Budweiser. It's disgusting. The other one was one of the best beers I've ever tasted in my life. They were both Budweisers. They were both brewed on site, but the one that was skunky sat in an oven at 100 degrees for 7 days to prove beer does go bad. So if you get beer that's thick like that and all that, don't drink. It's rotten. You're literally drinking rotten beer.
I can't imagine.
Okay.
I've made the mistake of having spoiled horchata.
Ooh.
Was not good. Do not recommend.
That
Very
sounds
sour.
unpleasant.
Very sour. I couldn't have it again for a while because even with it not spoiled, I would still somewhat taste the spoiled taste. I guess it was just me telling myself no.
Kombucha can go bad too, and it is awful. It tastes like vinegar.
I'm really glad I drink ice water more than anything.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I only really drink water. If you ask my friends, like my closest friends, they're like, "No, Jamie won't drink that. She won't drink that either. Just get her water bottle. That's all she wants is water bottle." Like, yeah, just a nice cold water bottle.
And then Richard's like, tea is okay, but you need to try Mio. It's Kool-Aid for adults who don't want to drink a ton of sugar. I like Mio. I do. I like Mio. Yeah. I don't like the Mio with caffeine because I have enough caffeine in my life with the tea. Oh, DeVern, I'm with you. So, can someone just get me a bucket of mojitos and just force feed it to me? That'd make my world a better place. Yeah, mojitos are amazing.
Somebody bring me some tequila.
On my honeymoon, that's pretty much all I drank were mojitos. And hey, I was in Mexico.
That's
Even
fun.
though it's actually it's a Cuban drink.
Oh, really? I
Yep.
didn't know that.
Mojitos are Cuban.
Yes, they are.
M just threw out Moscow Mules. Kind of funny because the name M with Moscow Mules. It's a lot of alliteration there. Cat drinks bleach. Oh wait, no, blech.
But
Christopher says, "Boy, we gotta drink sometime. Get me drunk, man. LOL. Make me forget. LOL."
I have been blackout drunk twice. I thought it was a lie until I had it happen. How about you, Jamie? You been there?
Actually, only once, and it was because I was crossfaded. So, only once, yeah. But even then, I kind of came back. It was like only a few hours were missing. It was like I got to the bar, and then all of a sudden the bar was closing. And I was like, wait, I just got here. It's closed? But that hasn't happened since then, so.
Yeah, my first time blacking out was on New Year's Eve. We had just left the bar and went to a house party. I remember pouring my second drink. Next thing I remember, I was in the passenger seat as we were driving home.
See, the thing with me, I don't know if it necessarily was blackout then. I just know I was dancing most of the night. And then before that, like I remember events or things like conversations I had with people there. It was just a matter of, I didn't know the concept of time. It felt like not enough time had passed, so there were probably parts missing. But
yeah, my second time got to the bar. I remember putting in a request to do the Humpty Dance for karaoke. I don't remember actually doing it. I don't remember the drive home. I don't remember even being brought over to who is now my wife's condo. I don't remember her putting me to bed. She said that I even remember to take my shoes off at the downstairs area. Like, I don't remember any of this. I just remember waking up in the morning going, where are my pants? Like, I had a shirt on, I had my underwear on, I had my socks on, but my shoes and pants were missing.
Now, I don't have any stories of me getting blackout drunk, but I've got older siblings, so when we would go out to San Diego, they would go out and drink. And I remember this one time, my two sisters came back, and all of a sudden I was woken up around 1-something a.m., and they're asking where my sister was. My other sister was hugging the toilet. She said, I brought her back, I brought her back. They were completely drunk, and we had to go look for her, and she ended up passing out on the second floor on a bench, and the security guard was just crossing his arms looking at her, just staring. It was pretty funny, but...
Nice, yeah. And we had a couple people that's like, oh, I haven't been drunk yet, and sadly never been blacked out drunk. I'm like a teenager with abandonment issues. I remember everything. And I was like, being drunk is fun while drunk. The day after usually sucks.
The last time I was drunk, it was on tequila. And I remember coming home from the restaurant we were at, and my friends being really concerned about me because I was very, very, very giggly, and I immediately unlocked my front door, kicked my shoes across the room, declared that shoes were for losers and so were pants, and then fell asleep on my couch.
And that fits Kat's comment about me, but it fits about you too. She said, hit the door, take your shoes and pants off.
Yeah. I know I was drunk because the shoes came off, the pants came off, but the bra did not.
See, I wouldn't know about that last part. That's not a thing that, I deal with.
I don't know, maybe you need extra support.
I like the lower lumbar support. That's where I need it. I got that dad bod going on. The beer belly. Yeah. So anyway, to get back on topic, if we can at this point. Well, okay,
sorry.
wait. You went to UCLA. Did you hit the party scene at all?
Oddly enough, no. I was so before the age of 23, I was straight edge and very much didn't see how going to parties would be fun, because at least growing up, my brother started drinking around 17. We're 2 years apart. So between him and his friends that I pretty much babysat or drove around in high school, I kind of got my fix. And when I went to college, I focused a lot on school because, it's expensive. I didn't take out any loans. So in the end, I don't have any debt, but I did spend a lot of energy in school because I was hard on myself on, how much I knew about topics or how much time I should be devoting to studies. And then also, I did work part-time for leisure spending as well. And I had a car that I brought to school my last year. I was able to afford to have a car on campus. And on top of that, I was in 2 clubs and I did research, but I very much worked my way up to that, and I guess was really hard on myself because I saw how I was in high school, and my first year of college, I didn't work. I was maybe in 1 club, but I never went to meetings, but I was subscribed to the emails, so I got those weekly, but I never really would go. They never really took attendance. And each year I kind of made a new milestone. So like my second year, I started going to the club meetings more. My third year, I got a job and became a board member of the club I was in, and started doing research in my field. And so I just kind of made small baby steps. But even then, I wasn't a part of the different organizations and research I was in very long, which I wish I would have started my freshman year, but I really was hard on myself and how much time I spent away from studying. If you talk to friends I had in college, I very much lived in the library. I would take naps in there in between classes, study in between classes, and leave around midnight after finishing research on campus. So I'd just be walking home at like 11, midnight in the dark, wake up at 5 for my shift, and restart my day. So
Wow.
yeah, it was a lot. So, I mean, my last year I had a friend come visit me, and she wanted to go to a frat party. She wasn't in college. So, okay, we can go out. This will be, how I'm ending my senior year. I didn't drink, but I babysat her, and we got into a frat house. Is very disgusting. Don't recommend going in a frat house ever. But it was an interesting experience. They had a shopping cart inside. Lots of garbage everywhere. And no furniture at all. No furniture.
Wow. What kind of a frat was this? This is like nothing like I've ever heard of.
I don't know. They probably were a low frat. I'll tell you that. And my last year, I lived in a university apartment on Frat Row. And so Fridays were always popping, and I was always in the library. Same with Thursdays. You can catch me in the library.
Yeah, well, that's like San Diego. The party starts on Thursday if you're in like Pacific Beach.
Yeah, because a lot of students in the frat house, they cater their schedule to not have class on Fridays. Or if they do, they don't go. They're like, sorry, my frat comes first. So it's weird because I very much was the same way, but not because I was in the party scene. It's because I was commuting to see my ex. He went to school in Irvine, and so that was also part of where my time went. I would bounce between UCLA and UC Irvine on the weekends. I'd study in their library if I was there. I'd study in my library if I was at my home school. So not too much partying for me. But right after college, I started going out with my friends to the bars, and that was fun. And then 2020, COVID happened, so that ended very quickly. I think I spent maybe 4 months every weekend going out before COVID. So
Yeah, COVID sucks. But, I'm also, at the time when it broke, I was a stay-at-home dad at the time, so it's not like I was doing anything anyway. And I had just started this podcast. Like, seriously, I was planning the podcast in December, getting everything lined up to launch in March, and sure as shit, February comes along, and there's rumblings about this new disease coming out of China, and my first thought was, of course, it's always China. We got SARS from China, we got avian flu from China. It's like, why? And yet, here it is.
Keep it there.
Right?
No, I'm just kidding.
But I mean,
just freaking cure it and stop spreading it.
But I mean, if you think about it, though, I mean, when you have a population as big as China, if shit's gonna hit the fan, it's likely there or India, because also their density.
And something I thought about, I don't know if there's research on this at all, but if you think about it, a lot of the breaks college students take, they travel back home to, other countries. And also, what goes with that, a lot of countries send their children to American schools. So it's like, maybe it's spreading from the students. I don't know how often residents in countries leave the country, like the top reasons, but I feel like school is definitely one of them.
School's a big one.
Schools and jobs. So it's very interesting. But probably very much related to workers that were coming to different, countries, states, cities, and also students. I had a lot of, it was very diverse campus, but predominantly Asian population on my campus. So.
Well, California, when it comes to students, there's a lot of Asian students. And I'm not trying to be derogatory in any way, shape, or form. It's just, we're really close to Asia as far as you just cross the Pacific Ocean, as opposed to crossing 3/4 of the globe to get to the East Coast.
I just meant more in terms of even my experience at UCLA. A lot of my classes, especially discussions, because discussions are only about 26 to 30 students. Being a psych student, predominantly female, that's for sure, but also predominantly Asian. So it's just interesting. But
that is interesting. Of course, I was talking earlier
about
I
was talking
about how China and India have such huge populations, and so it's not too uncommon for illnesses to come out of there. You know what is the number 3 country for population, right?
Really? Oh.
The good old USA.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, we might be one that breaks one soon. You never know.
That's true. We might be spreading something somewhere else. I don't know how often people in the U.S. leave the country as well.
I know.
And themselves and come home. So that's also a factor.
I know that for like med students, a lot of time, which is kind of funny, is that a lot of the med students in the U.S. are foreign students, and a lot of the med students foreign, like in other countries, are American students. It's just weird how that works out. But it's so competitive to become a doctor or a surgeon or any of those specialties.
Very, very much so.
It's like, it's not uncommon to go, okay, well, where'd you get your PhD, or like, where'd you go for studying for surgery? Venezuela. That's actually a fairly common answer.
Ooh.
I know for me, I could see part of that. Even I'm not sure how it goes in terms of reputability, but also just wanting to travel. Because for me, I very much so want to do grad school in another state, but with a lot of things being online currently, it's like any school I get into out of state, I'll be likely working on my computer from California. So I'm just like, I don't necessarily care where I go.
Yeah, my ex-wife, she's actually a student at ASU, Arizona State University, in California. All online. Yeah.
Yeah, a high school friend of mine got her master's in 2 years online, just at home.
That's crazy fast, though.
Yeah, it's very fast. I'm like, I wonder what she's doing now. I haven't kept up with her, but I keep thinking, man, I should follow up, see if she's in practice right now, or if she's doing her PhD now.
I'm giving you a homework assignment. I'm going to follow up with you tomorrow. Just reach out, say hi, see how she's doing.
Yeah.
Just watch it, just be like, yeah, I'm on my 3rd PhD. Wait, what?
And what's interesting too, something I was gonna talk about but I forgot. So
Let's go ahead and talk about it.
after I graduated, so I had to fulfill my language requirements. So I was technically graduating class of 2019, which for UCLA was the centennial class because the school became a university as of 1919. So my class,
wow.
100th class. And pretty much I had to take a foreign language requirement and I didn't fit it into my schedule during the academic year. So I took it in the summer. I got to walk in June, but I graduated September of that year. And then I came home. So I was home, from September, November, December, January, February, March. So I was home 5 months and then we're just in lockdown. And I was taking my gap year. I had decided after I graduated, I need to work on myself, physical health, mental health. I just need to focus on myself, and I'm not going to unless I have more time because I very much like to keep busy. And so now that I've done that, I don't know how to go back to keeping busy in that way. So it's interesting. Just noticed.
The chat room got really quiet. Is there anybody out there?
It's very still.
Yeah, they're probably just really just listening. It happens all the time. Like,
Hear the crickets.
Yeah, it's like, well, because sometimes the chat will mess up. And it's like, okay, well, let me go check the website as opposed to using this console. And then it's times like also using this flood. No, we're still here. Like, oh, okay. But I'm not getting the we're still here, so let me check. Well, the last thing was 7 minutes ago. Richard, good night, Bexy. Feel better.
Perfect.
So if you could pick your school, where would you go?
I honestly haven't put too much research into it, but I had wanted to go to Washington or Oregon just because the need for mental health professionals has risen a lot. But a lot of the academic work right now, again, is online. So
Right.
I'm just kind of taking a look into different fields available because every school kind of varies in what degrees you can get. And I have a friend that got a marriage and family therapy license. And they were still able to do practice with children. So I might look into that. They went to Pepperdine, which is more so in SoCal, but they have it online. So it's kind of where I'm leaning towards, but I'm still not very sure if I want to do research or work with kids.
Yeah, I could try reaching out to some of my family members and find out what they, and friends, because it turned out I have a lot of family and friends that are into psychology, so.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, I was like, wow, and I just happened to, out of the blue, go, hey, I'm going to start a mental health podcast. It had nothing to do with them. And then I found out. It was one of those things I didn't know ahead of time. It was like afterwards, by the way.
Even if they can help with research or if they even have, any recommendations on places to start, especially as a recent graduate.
Yeah, I'll definitely reach out. Matter of fact, I can do that right now to at least one of them. I invite them every week to come on, but I don't know if they ever listen or not. Won't let me. I'm still restricted for 15 more days. Are you kidding me?
Facebook. Oh yeah. Facebook jail.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I didn't even get a warning or a reason this time. It was just, you're in jail. Like, okay, for 30 days. Last offense, February. Okay, that does not work. But yeah, I'll definitely reach out. I'll after the show, I'll text them and be like, yo. So, I mean, you're working a full-time job now. How is that going to impact you with the school?
So I've already kind of decided once I get into school, I'll have to go back to part-time. And I'm okay with that. And I'm thankful that my partner's supportive because he realizes how much of a toll it's going to take to focus on school, but also still being how I am, I want to still provide in some way. I don't know, I can't sit around and not work. It's just, I get too negative. Not, I guess, applying myself in the workforce. So at least reducing my hours will help with not overdoing it, I guess, not spreading myself too thin. But he's agreed to definitely even work overtime while I'm in school.
That's awesome.
So, I'm hoping Solar Edge will be accommodating for that.
So now everybody knows where we work.
Sorry.
That was a name drop of a totally different kind.
Yeah, sorry.
It happens. But yeah, no, I hope that they'd be able to accommodate. I mean, the place is, not gonna lie, best place I've ever worked. Hands down. Like, it's not even close. They're so much better than everywhere I've ever worked. But yeah, no, it'd be great if they were able to accommodate. Now, like with my wife, when she was going through nursing school, I wound up working full-time, and then she was doing per diem about 2 days a week, just so that way she could help a little bit and have some spending money and money for gas, money for supplies, stuff like that. But yeah, no, it's hopefully after he does this, you turn around and you pay him back, send his ass to school.
He wants to go to trade school, so he's gonna probably, at least with trade school, you can get paid while you're in school.
Yes, you can.
So in that way, he'll probably just be investing more into trade school.
And quite honestly, the income that you get straight out of trade school, it's nothing to sneeze at. It's pretty good, depending on the trade. Some trades pay incredibly well. I actually
Just do electrical, so.
Yeah, well, I heard what some of the installers get paid hourly.
Yeah.
One was talking about making $40 an hour. I'm like, dude, I'm taking my headsets off. I'm going to start installing. Because, like, damn.
That's how much my mom makes. She's in escrow.
Oh, yeah, that makes some money.
She's happy with that. I'm hoping to get there someday with my practice. But either way, I'm doing it more for the benefit it would give me happiness than the pay. Obviously, I'm paying a lot into it to even get to do it. So
Right.
it's more so about my happiness than money, which I'm happy with.
It's kind of like with this podcast. Like, if it were to take off and become something like the Joe Rogan Experience, dear God, not overnight, please. I don't think that we would survive. Yeah, that would be amazing. But as it is right now, it's self-sustaining. Every penny that we get in donations goes straight back into the podcast. And sometimes just truly enjoy. This actually brings happiness. How about you, C? How do you feel about being part of this?
Makes me happy, even if I don't have much to say. I still enjoy being here.
Well, you may not have much to say, but when you do add in, you bring some real value to it. And you've already, you and Jamie already had the sidebar conversation. I just sat back and listened because you guys were just, it was awesome. It was a conversation I couldn't have had. So yeah, don't downplay your value and your contributions. That's why we brought you on.
Okay. Okay.
Give yourself some credit.
Yes. Take the compliment. That's something I have to tell my wife all the time. It's like, that was a compliment. Take the compliment.
It's really funny because after we had that conversation, my partner and I had a conversation like that. He didn't know anything about that one. He was like, just take the compliment.
If you're like, funny you should say that.
There you go.
And
Just telling me this 2 days ago.
And in the chat we actually had here, M got caught for 30 days in Facebook jail for telling a friend I'm going to drop kick them. Restricted both accounts. Yeah, I can't even post on my Facebook page about the podcast. I have to create a new account for that. Yeah, I'm going to do it through a different phone number, different everything. Just make it nothing but the business and just keep it professional. Also, CDL, I assume that means commercial driver's license. And then DeVerne said, maybe pessimistic, but at this point it's all about the money. Let's get it and pretend the world is nicer. I'm like, that whole thing is like, I was talking about how, dear God, please, let me win the lottery. I promise that the money won't change me. I'm like, oh, the money will change me. Absolutely, it'll change me, but it'll change me for the better. I'll be a much more generous and happy person. Because that's just who I am.
The apocalypse just happen or something, or we just go back to bartering and trading. Like they just end it, no currency. We're just.
I would actually be down with that. You know what? I have to get it. They had it, Giant Meteor 2016, Giant Meteor 2020. Giant Meteor 2024.
Let's see if it comes true.
Watch it.
Fingers crossed.
We almost had Giant Meteor Inauguration Day. It passed within. Oh God, it was closer to Earth than the Moon. It passed that close. Wow, Kat, I'm making more retired than I was working. How does that even happen?
It just took a lot out of her paychecks.
I guess. No, I know that she does work. She's retired, but she still works. I think it's more along the lines of working because want to.
Don't worry, boys. I'm just gonna run.
DeVerne, the experiment of Earth is almost over, and it's just trying to kill us now.
Really though, I'm like, why do we have money anymore? Can we just live life before the planet destroys itself?
You ever watch?
I just want to live my life.
It's I'm just thinking about like the God, what? It was South Park. Earth is being canceled. It started out exactly like the pilot episode, except that the kids were able to say exactly what differently because it's just a big deja vu for them. And then
I was just talking to my brother about South Park, and it's really funny because he's a fan, he's a very big fan, and he's like, you can just tell the creators are not into it anymore. They make jokes saying #cancel South Park, like it's a joke, but they say it so much, maybe they're trying to. And like now they don't even do the theme song on the episodes, and they're only specials. They're like not even making seasons anymore. And he's like, yeah, at this point it seems like they just can't get the show off the air. And these dudes trying to find every way to get us to stop wanting to watch South Park, and we don't.
That's up there with, I still think Family Guy is just trying their hardest to get canceled again. Because, like, some of the stuff that they put on there is just like, whoa! Although, like, did you ever see the episode of South Park about Family Guy? Which was about Muhammad?
No.
So, it was like the rest of the kids all really liked Family Guy, except Eric Cartman. He hated it. Absolutely hated it. Because the creators hate Family Guy. They absolutely hate it because the jokes are tangent, nonsensical. They don't contribute to the story. That's their thing, is that their jokes contribute to their story. But there's an episode where they're getting ready to have Family Guy put the Prophet Muhammad on TV. This is back when, Charlie Hebdo was attacked because they did a comic of Muhammad. And it was actually the one before that, but it was inspired by those kinds of attacks. So Eric Cartman was hell-bent to try to get that episode stopped of Family Guy. And he was saying it's because he didn't want anybody else, dying from terrorism. And it was actually South Park protesting against Comedy Central because Comedy Central said, under no uncertain terms are we allowing you to draw the Prophet Muhammad. And South Park creators were like, we are doing this. So they were trying to make it very clear they were doing it.
I remember this.
Yeah.
My brother told me about this too, and
and they were making it very clear that they were doing this. Yeah, they actually censored it.
They had to take it out. Yeah.
Yeah, but they got it to where...
He remembers having it on the DVR, and he remembers the day it aired. He's like, I had this recorded.
Yep.
I'd watch it. And then now you can't find it anywhere.
No.
Maybe on
Probably
YouTube, depths of YouTube.
Or maybe if you find the old collection of the original release of that season.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, in the end, they were actually, when it was censored, they were able to make it to where it was very clearly stated that it was Comedy Central that censored it, not South Park.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to maintain their integrity, going either everything is okay or nothing's okay. The instant anything is off limits, it's all off limits. And ultimately, that was Cartman's main concern, is that he just hated Family Guy so much that he wanted to get one episode taken off the air, so that way the entire show would cave in like Laverne and Shirley did, for the same exact reasons.
It's interesting, because something else I found out recently, I don't know how much you guys watch SpongeBob, but there's an episode where Mr. Krabs steals his mom's underwear. It's the panty raid episode.
Yeah.
And they took that off the air. I guess that one's not allowed to play anymore.
I'm going to have to find it now.
I watched that as a kid.
I remember that episode.
And I guess they're not allowed to show it on Nickelodeon anymore.
Well, Nickelodeon, they kind of had that thing where one of the producers had this weird underage foot fetish thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that really shook up the whole network pretty hard. Let's be honest. And then it's like you look back at the tweets from back in the day, and it's like, ooh, whoa. that's had we only known. It's like he was very blatant about it.
I know. I saw a video on it. It is just... wow.
Yeah, like a tweet with Victoria Justice, with the show Victorious. Her feet sticking out, and the guy had a bottle of ketchup, and we're going to put this on. And it's like, okay, haha, you're being silly. No.
iCarly too.
Yeah, no. Yep, DeVerne just threw that out there too. Yeah, the creator of iCarly. And the cat, what's that about Laverne and Shirley? Supposedly, and again, this is coming from South Park, but South Park does tend to do very factual stuff. That Laverne and Shirley had one episode that got pulled because some group was highly offended by it. And then after that, every group started attacking and used that precedence to get more and more episodes pulled until they didn't have a show anymore. DeVerne, from one freak to others. If you're going to be different, be open about it. But yeah, so that was all that Cartman wanted the entire time. Was just to get the show canceled.
Good premise. They're so smart. I don't know how writers do it. Like Rick and Morty, oh my gosh, I could watch it over and over.
I still need to finish Rick and Morty. I started it, I loved it, and then I got distracted.
And then start watching Solar Opposites, because it's great. Same writer.
Yeah, I heard. Yes, see?
Personally, there's this one, it's called Primal. It's really good. Very gory, but really good.
I'll have to check that out. I like gory and good. One episode of, like when you started bringing up SpongeBob, the episode that stands out most to me for making me laugh so freaking hard and wonder how in the hell this was on Nickelodeon. She showed off her shirt to you, see.
What? Can I see again? Yes. Yes, I love it.
My boyfriend got me the shirt for my birthday, and I don't know. I haven't ever bought a SpongeBob shirt because I feel like a lot of them are very corny. I very much don't like shirts that have words on them like "I rock" or like have corny. I don't know. I like plain shirts mostly, but I really like this one because of the tie-dye and just because they.
I think if I were to get a SpongeBob
says,
shirt,
it's all relative.
the only thing I would want if I ever got a SpongeBob shirt, which I'm not going to, but if I did, I'd have to have the one that says it's a sentence enhancer. Because that's the episode that had me in tears. I was laughing so hard.
Such a good episode.
In case you're wondering, the name of the episode is Sailor Mouth. And yes,
Yeah,
it is all about the Sailor Mouth. And when Mr. Krabs goes off, oh my god!
He goes off. Like, he loses it, and he really just...
Yeah, he loses his shit.
Yeah.
But it was clear that the dolphin sound had to be the F word because it was so versatile. You know, hey, Patrick, how you doing?
Yeah. Are ya?
Yep. Oh, you want to eat Krabby Patty? Okay.
Love it.
Nice weather we're having today, right?
Just, and everybody's reaction to it was so great. Oh no, M, I'm getting a tattoo of SpongeBob when he ripped his pants. Oh god, I remember that episode. Like, I don't look. Here's the funny thing: the times that I see SpongeBob the most is over at my dad's house because he puts it on for the kids. And it's like I'll just be walking along, and all of a sudden a joke will like catch my attention. I'm like, wait, what? like I never watch Animaniacs. Like, my wife was a huge Animaniac fan, but it came out right as I discovered Girls. So I was like, I'm done with TV. I'm gonna go outside and I'm gonna have fun. She was really big into it, and she started streaming some off of like Netflix for our kids to watch, and all of a sudden there was an episode of Pinky and the Brain, and Pinky's all, we're here to have relations. And the Brain goes, diplomatic relations. And I'm like, wait, what? Did he just say we're here to have sex? Like, really?
The things they can sneak into kids' shows sometimes. I love it.
Oh, I love it too.
They can go over your head at first, but then you're like, oh.
Yeah, so many shows and movies from when I was a kid I've watched as an adult. I'm like, oh man, this wasn't made for me. It's made for me now. Prime example, the Bullwinkle show. That was absolutely made for adults, especially Fractured Fairy Tales. Oh, if you're not familiar, you gotta check it out.
I'm not.
It's really old. Rocky the Flying Squirrel. Actually, Scandia tends to have Rocky and Bullwinkle themes. Which I was a huge fan of Rocky and Bullwinkle. But then, like, as an adult now, watching Fractured Fairy Tales, I'm like, now I see why my mom and dad watched it. Because that's just funny. And Cat's like, yes, exactly. Hey, Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat. Oh, no, I got it backwards. That was Rocky's voice. Hey, Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat. Again, that trick
my
never
dog's
works.
name is Rocky, side note, and he keeps looking over and he's like,
Rocky.
he just came over here.
Oh, God, Bugs Bunny? Absolutely for adults. He was such a smartass. But the best thing is about Bugs Bunny, they actually had very strict rules about what each character could and couldn't do. Bugs Bunny could
Really?
never initiate. He only retaliated. That was his hard and fast rule. And of course, because I mean, what does he say all the time?
Go on.
Of course, he says all the time is like, of course, this means war. What are you going to say, C?
Personally, I love it when he plays mind games with his opponents by dressing up as women and seducing them.
Now I'm just thinking of that one with the opera episode with Elmer Fudd.
I think I know what you're talking about. I think I know.
Kill the wabbit, kill the wabbit.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Okay, your mama raised you right, if you know that. Yeah, see, I told you, Jamie, we get way sidetracked sometimes, and if someone doesn't rein us in, we just keep going. Yes, Kat just put it out there, kissing Elmer Fudd all the time.
Really, all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And what I've noticed is that most people that watch a lot of Warner Brothers cartoons and stuff, like the whole LGBTQIA community thing, Warner Brother fans are like, okay. It's like, yeah, we grew up with this kind of stuff as kids. You guys are just, you're adults with it. Okay. Just roll with it.
Whatever.
Yeah. But now they took away Elmer Fudd's gun. Oh, if you want a funny meme.
What do you mean?
What?
They're animals.
Why?
He's a hunter.
Exactly. And I mean, yeah, there are some Elmer Fudd episodes.
There are hunters in the world.
Yes, it's a very popular sport, especially in the U.S. Just as an example, the sheer number of deer permits that they give out each year in Wisconsin alone is larger than any nation's standing army. And that's one state out of 50.
That's wild. I didn't even know.
Yeah, our like the United States, we have 46% of the world's 1 billion guns. And we have about 2 trillion rounds of ammunition.
Wow.
All of the standing armies in the world could combine, and they still wouldn't total us as citizens.
I'm not surprised.
Well, the idea behind it was, by the Second Amendment, was, it's to protect yourself from enemies, foreign and domestic.
Right.
Japan flat out refused to do a ground invasion on us because we had guns. But we are getting way off topic here. Way, way off topic. So, I got a question, Jamie and C. Yeah. Any plans once things start opening up even further?
I really want to go to Disneyland. It's going to happen.
Please tell me you've been.
Yes, I had an annual pass for 2 years in college. So that was another thing I would do. I would go to Disneyland.
All right, see?
To be honest, probably not much. Even before the pandemic, I rarely left the house. So my lifestyle hasn't changed that much.
So you're like, what? I have to stay indoors? Oh, no. Whatever am I going to... I'm not even going to play this game. I'm good.
Oh, no. What am I going to do?
I always said that the pandemic was worse for the extroverts than the introverts. Because the introverts were like, you're going to make me stay home and not interact with people? Okay.
Great.
You mean staying at home playing video games and getting DoorDash is now socially acceptable?
It's funny because my partner, he doesn't like leaving the house much, but he does it for me. And so we're like, okay, we can go to the store. But next time we're ordering this online.
Compromises.
Yeah.
No, I can see this as a compromise.
There's only so many times I want to be in public. Why else do you think I want to own a land of property so that I can just build everything I need on it?
I want to be self-sustaining and off the grid.
Exactly. He's like, I want a farm. I want solar panels. I want to build my house. I want to have my for my freaking tools. I want to have my garage for all my quads. And we can just go live in the country.
Hey, we happen to know a guy that could do literally all of that. Because he has done literally all of that. And he's younger than me, too. Makes me feel like I completely wasted my life. And we met this guy. He actually, when they say that he built his own home, he built his own home. He laid the foundation. He ran the electrical. He did the plumbing. He did it all. And he only had people over every once in a while when he needed extra hands. It's like, and he did this solar. He did everything. Yeah, Deverne, but you're still young. He's all, nah, I am the life waster. Nah, you're still young. You can still get stuff done. I went out and I oh my god, I had fun as a kid. I really did.
Nice.
Like, as an example, when I was in Taiko, I really felt like the outsider in my group. Because the rest of the group, they had been friends. Like, they're all the same, like, all but one of them same age. So they all went to the same classes. Usually had the same teacher. The one that was older than me, that was 2 years older than the others, happened to be the next door neighbor to the instructors, who had sons, so was just as tight with them. So I was the outsider. I only felt comfortable on the road at when we were having festivals when I got to hang out with other groups. It was kind of weird. It's like it forced me to be more of an extrovert. Because I couldn't even hang out with my own group. They had too many inside jokes that I wasn't privy to. So I had to go and do my own thing. So, yeah. So, Jamie, is there anything else you want to talk about?
I'm not sure. It's easier when the questions are asked. I don't really go off on tangents about my life.
All right, everybody. Start throwing in those questions. Let's see if we get some.
Looking at the chat.
Of course, one of my favorite riddles of all time. There's two people guarding two doors. One of them only tells the truth. One of them only tells lies. One door leads to instant death. The other one leads to your salvation. You can only ask one of them one question. Which question do you ask, and which one do you ask it to?
Oh my goodness. Wait. That's overwhelming. What? What?
All right, so this actually comes from the movie Labyrinth.
Interesting. Is it what kind of movie is it? Is it sci-fi? Is it
Fantasy. It's
fantasy?
amazing.
Okay.
David Bowie plays the Goblin King, and you have Jennifer Connelly, who as a teenager, who wished her baby son to be taken away by the Goblin King, and it happened. And it's a Jim Henson production, so there's a lot of Muppets in it. It is really good.
Cat asked what's
Oh.
Cat asked what's your favorite color?
Huh?
What's your favorite color?
Oh no, this is a bad question because there's a stigma with it. I don't know if that gives it away, but my favorite color is purple. I'm definitely a purple person.
What's with the stigma about purple? I love purple.
So a lot of what goes with it is like purple people, like they are into purple, which me, like I literally got a new phone so that like I could get the purple iPhone. If I'm getting clothes, anything that's purple is cute. Like I'm like, oh, I can wear that. I can wear that. It's purple.
So did you see the newly redesigned iMacs that are coming out?
No, don't even tell me that.
I think there's a purple one. Remember the old color bubble iMacs?
I just got frustrated because the phone before the one I have right now, I had the 8 forever. Like I had it for about 4 years. And then I was like, they made a purple iPhone. All right, I'm gonna upgrade. You know, they got now they have the freaking 12 in purple, and I'm like, no, I haven't even had this phone a year. I'm not getting another phone. I'm not.
Yes, they do.
It's 2015, and so now it's debatable. If it's the case, it's debatable. My old HP laptop, I only got it because it's purple.
Yeah, there is a purple iMac now.
Oh my, don't even. I didn't need to know this. I'm trying to save money.
Yeah, good luck.
I'm very much into purple. Like, any type of gift I can receive that's purple, I likely will enjoy it.
Yeah, see, there's nothing wrong with that. My favorite color personally is blue, like a dark blue. And I just tossed the link to the iMac in the Zoom chat for us. And if you scroll down about halfway down the page, there's a color selector so you can see what it looks like.
Ooh.
No, not even halfway down, just a little ways down. There's blue, green, red, or pink, silver, yellow, orange, and purple.
Oh my goodness. How can you do this to me?
And look how thin that damn thing is now.
Oh my gosh.
With the new chip that they're using, they don't have to have the cooling fans and the heat sinks anymore.
I just checked my email, and I got results back for my QA, and our manager responded like,
Please tell me you got 100.
I did, and he says, "Great job, Jamie." Ah! Yay! You see me?
Yeah. And now Kat, she's also big into purple as well. So she's like, purple, I'm so pissed. I got a new iPhone last year. She's like, I have purple sparkly toenails and fingernails.
Oh, goodness.
But Devern asked, what's your favorite soda and what's your favorite song?
Okay, so I mentioned this earlier. I don't drink a lot of stuff. I'm very picky. I don't like how carbonation feels, so I actually don't drink soda. But if I had a stale soda, which people frown upon that, yeah, I would pick either orange or grape, just because they don't taste like soda. Really.
They taste like Kool-Aid with bubbles.
Yeah.
The problem with orange soda is you're never satisfied.
I like juice, and I like smoothies, and I like water, and sometimes tea.
All right, what's your favorite juice?
Juice? Ooh, apple juice for sure.
Yes.
You know, my favorite apple juice, I only had it twice in my life, was Golden Delicious apple juice. And it was... Yeah, my favorite apple is the Golden Delicious apple. And they actually had, it was Treetop, actually had for a little while a Golden Delicious apple juice. I was like, oh my god, it's liquefied of Golden Delicious apples! Oh yeah, and Kat was saying, check the glasses on my kitty picture. Yes, purple. Yeah. Her avatar, it's a cat wearing purple sunglasses. Alright, see, so what about you? What's your favorite color?
My favorite color, either midnight blue or a light ice blue.
Nice.
Blue is my second favorite color, and I lean more towards baby blues. And then I also do like a good royal blue.
Yeah, basically royal blue's my favorite.
Yeah.
Although I also like that cobalt blue. Like, apparently my eyes turn cobalt blue when I'm pissed. And like everybody that's been with me is like, I hate that your eyes look prettiest when you're angry. Like, okay, well that kind of sucks. Kat just said Granny Smiths are the best apples. You're allowed to think that.
Favorite song? Also, I think that was one.
Yes.
It's really tough. I guess right now, what have I been playing a lot? Oh, that's tough. My genres varies. So between let's see. In the meantime, say Dance Gavin Dance. Let's see the song. It's called Betrayed by the Game. So that's one of my favorites. And alongside this, on the side of that, I really like Muop by Mulatto. So those are very varying genres. Mulatto is like a rapper.
I know Mulatto. See? You want to join in on this one?
Sure. My favorite song currently, and I've been listening to it repeat for a couple days now. It's not even like an actual song, it's from a video game mod, but I'm in love with it. I think it's called
I mean, there's nothing wrong with
Ordillo, I think, but I like it.
Oh, really fast, for your iPhone users, really cool tip. If you have if you have Shazam on your phone, you can add it as a widget on, when you swipe down in the top right-hand corner to get that little dashboard. And not only that, it will listen to your phone's audio to identify stuff now, so it can hear itself.
Ooh.
So, like, if you're...
I'm shook!
Yeah, like, if you have a commercial that comes on, you're like, what song is that? Pause. Pull down.
That's me! No, that was me yesterday. I was watching Shameless with my partner, and a song by Cake came on. I love Cake also. Cake's so great. Short skirt, long jacket, it's a classic.
Yeah, it's either that or the Go in the Distance.
Yep. Good one, too. But a song came on in the show, and I heard it playing, and for whatever reason, I said, this sounds like Cage the Elephant. And then when I Shazammed it, it showed Cake, and I immediately was like, no, that's Cake. I knew it was Cake. I don't know why I said Cage the Elephant. They're both C's, but I knew it was Cake. And I'm just like, wow, I'm so thankful for Shazam, for just finding songs for me that I've never heard of and just telling me what they are. So props to you, Shazam. It's a great app.
So, you know how Google was advertising their hum to find a song?
No.
Oh, you didn't see that? Yeah, there's Google was advertising if you have their app on your phone and you hum a tune, it can help identify it. It has a chance of it. Turns out SoundHound has been doing that for years.
Copyright.
And it's SoundHound
No
actually
idea,
works pretty
Google.
good.
You gotta know.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? I remember Google back when they said don't be evil, and they're not holding true to that anymore, so I'll take SoundHound. Yeah. But no, when I discovered that mod on Shazam, there was like an ad that kept popping up on one of the games I was playing with a song I really liked, and the next time it came on, I'm like, swipe down, Shazam! And found the song.
See, that's funny too, because sometimes I'll be on Snapchat and I'm like, man, I just want to know what this song is, but I don't want to swipe up on everyone's story and be like, what song is this? What song is this? What song is that?
Yeah, this is quick, easy, and I mean, it does not take long. Like, I've had parts where it's less than a second worth of song, and it went, this is the song. It's like, damn, Shazam, you've gotten good. So I remember back in the day, it's like 30 seconds of song. It's like, I'm still listening. I still haven't figured it out yet. I'm like, are you serious? At this point, I could have called the radio station and asked.
It's funny because at some point during college, my cousin sent me a snapshot, and I really wanted to know the song because the artists sound familiar, similar to the situation I was talking about. I heard the song, I was like, I don't know the song, but I swear I know who sings it, and I just want to know if I'm right. And so I literally waited to replay the Snapchat until I had Shazam like opened on the computer or a similar like listening app.
Right.
No, it was an app that could record it. And then I recorded it on the computer and then Shazammed it on my phone. I was like, wow, this is way too much just for a song. Like, why am I doing all this?
Because you really have to know.
It was by a story so far. The story so far.
So were you right though?
I was right, but I was just like, man, the lengths I just took to get here. I
So,
should have been studying.
the third Resident Evil movie. During the intro credits, I'm like, what?
I've only played the game. They have movies of Resident Evil.
They're really good.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, they are really good. Like, there's a reason why they made sequels, and they always went to theater, because they're really good. It's Mila Jovovich.
Wow.
Uh,
I'm learning so much today. I love learning new things.
yeah, so the third movie, like, during the beginning credits, I'm like, that's Charlie Clouser. He did the music. And my girlfriend at the time, she's like, how do you don't know that for sure? I'm like, I know this groove. I know Charlie Clouser's groove. This is his groove. This is Charlie Clouser. All the original music, I kept going, yep, Charlie Clouser, yep, Charlie Clouser. Waited till the end credits, and sure as shit, music by Charlie Clouser. He is my favorite remix artist of all time, and I wish he would do more original stuff that wasn't just soundtrack related, because his shit's amazing. To give you an idea, like, if I remember correctly, there's a Rob Zombie song in the club scene of The Matrix, you know, when he meets Trinity. And it starts out, I think it was doing Minefields by The Prodigy, then it switches over to Rob Zombie's song, which is actually a Charlie Clouser remake. So yeah, you may have heard him somewhere. I don't know, I just really like Charlie Clouser. Yeah, and Kat was asking what's Shazam.
I love Shazam. I'm so thankful for Shazam.
Alright, did you ever play Beat Shazam?
I tried to play along with it on the show, yeah.
How'd you do?
Wasn't very good at it.
Yeah, me neither. Although there were
I was
some
just
days,
yeah.
there were a couple of episodes I went, holy crap, I would have won! You know, I would have gone the whole way. It's like I was beating their times. I'm like, holy crap! And then there's most of the time I'm like, yeah, I'm done. Nope. I'd be packing up my bags and leaving. Be like, yeah, well, at least I got to see you, Jamie Foxx. Bye.
It's fun. I really love Family Feud. I love Family Feud. I do pretty good.
So, I used to do really, really good on Jeopardy back when Mental Floss was printed. Turns out, Jeopardy got most of the questions from Mental Floss.
What is Mental Floss?
It was a magazine that used to be printed. Now it's just a website. But it was, they called it Feel Smart again. And it was, they took really complex, really intellectual concepts and broke it down to layman levels with a lot of humor. It was the only magazine that I ever read cover to cover religiously. And it was basically, it was like Mental Floss. You know, you're flossing between your ears, getting that shit knocked out and thinking again. It was great. And I mean, I learned so much. And then it's like, I would read an episode of, like, an issue of Mental Floss, and like 2 weeks later on Jeopardy, I'm answering every question. Because there's like a 2-week lag between when I got the magazine and when they were asking those questions. And my wife at the time, she was like, "How you need to compete on Jeopardy?" I'm like, "Well, I found their primer, so yeah, I probably should." So again, you know, thank you for coming on. I think we've kind of petered out a few times here.
Yeah.
You know, thank you for sharing. I'm glad that you're in therapy. I'm glad that things are going well. Be patient with the meds. I know that you said that you're new to them. Even meds that work great now, eventually your own body chemistry could change, or you could grow a tolerance to it, or you may have to just completely abandon it. I've had to completely abandon SSRIs for me. They just flatline me anymore. Doesn't matter which one it is. But yeah, just be patient, stick with it, and you'll figure out what works best for you. And yeah, and I hope that you find you're happy.
Thank you.
I hope you do too.
You're happy too.
I seem happier than I really am. But no, honestly, I am a pretty happy person overall. I'm not as happy as I once was, but I'm hell of a lot happier than I was in my teenage years. Jesus.
I mean, have you seen your caller ID?
It literally is Mr. Happy. Yeah, if anybody gets a phone call from me and I'm not in your contacts, it comes up as Mr. Happy. I was able to program that myself.
I just saved you outside of my phone, so.
My son saved me a stink man because I guess my farts are pretty bad. Yeah. And we're getting some thanks in the chat. I think a lot of people fell off. But yeah, no, thank you for coming on.
Having me, you guys. Had a good time.
I had a good time.
Yes. Thank you so much. I was glad to meet you.
Yep. And Bexy, if you're still listening, I hope you feel better soon. I'll check in on you.
Please get better, Bexy.
Yeah,
Yes, please do.
we missed you. I mean, obviously we're okay without you, but we prefer having you. Anyway, until next week, I'm E.
I'm C.
And we'll catch you on the flip side.